Ding! Ava fell back in shock on the driveway. She thought this would never happen again, but then the school bus arrived. She could not handle what was happening when she saw who was inside. Immediately, the bus driver drove away, leaving Ava on the ground. At first, the bus looked normal to Ava. She recognized the bus driver and some of her classmates, but she soon noticed the faces of the children on the bus. Everyone looked scared of something. This worried Ava. She felt even more uneasy when the bus stopped in front of her. The doors stayed shut, and Ava didn't really know what to do with herself. Why was the bus driver acting like this? Ava suddenly realized what was going on inside the bus. She fell back on the driveway in pure shock, hitting her head on the concrete. And when the bus doors finally opened, Ava burst into tears. But what was going on inside the bus? And why did Ava get so emotional? Before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't. And hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Ava and her parents had just moved to a bigger town 2 days ago. Everything was at least 15, if not 40 minutes away. Her school was half an hour away from her house. Ava wasn't used to so much distance between everything. They came from a tiny town where everything was within walking distance. It was a big change for Ava. She used to have all her friends close to her and could walk to school with one or all of them. And now she had no idea how she would get to school. She had thought one of her parents would drive her, but that turned out to be false. She would never expect the way she would travel to school. Her parents broke the news to Ava that she would be traveling to school by bus. Ava was confused because none of her parents owned a bus. But she soon realized they meant a school bus. Ava didn't know what to think. She had never been on a school bus before. She found it a little scary, actually. She sought distraction in unpacking and made friends with her neighbor. She lived next to a girl who was about the same age as Ava. She was named Kylie, and she went to the same school. Luckily, Kylie also had to take the same bus, so they could travel together. But Ava leaned on her friend a little too much. Ava and Kylie quickly became best friends. They attended the same class and sat next to each other. But one day, Kylie came to school with tears in her eyes. She didn't want to tell Ava what was going on, not even when Ava got mad at her for keeping it a secret. Kylie must have known how Ava would react. Kylie continued to be sad and started to distance herself from Ava. She would sit next to someone else on the bus or eat her lunch at another table. Ava was frustrated that Kylie wouldn't tell her why she was acting like his. She wanted to resolve everything, but later found out it was too late. The following day, Ava was waiting for the school bus. She knew he should be here any minute now, but there was no signal of Kylie whatsoever. All the lights in her house were out, and when Ava looked a bit longer, she concluded that there was no sign life anywhere in the house. Ava couldn't help but feel slightly worried. The bus arrived, and she was still on her own. What would have happened to Kylie? Ava hesitated but got on the bus eventually. She wanted to check on her friend, but she couldn't miss school. What she didn't know was, this was a big mistake. Kylie had been watching Ava from inside her house. She saw her waiting for the bus and looking for Kylie. She felt terrible for Ava. She wanted so badly to tell her friend what was going on, but she couldn't. It was for Ava's own good. When Ava returned home, she went straight to Kylie's house. She rang the doorbell, but no one answered. She isn't one to snoop around, but a lot about this situation was suspicious to Ava. Kylie was hiding something, and Ava was adamant about finding out. So she decided to walk along the house, looking for an open window or door. And to her luck, she saw that the back door wasn't locked. After a brief moment of hesitation, Ava decided to go for it, and so she slowly pushed the door open and walked inside. However, what she then saw, shocker her, Ava walked into an empty house. All the furniture was gone. She walked to Kylie's room and saw that it was also empty. The only things left were her posters on the wall. Ava took one poster with her to remember Kylie by. Will she ever see her again? She heard her mother calling from far away, so Ava hurried outside as quickly as she could. No one could know she broke into her neighbor's house, especially not her mother. What she had been doing was against the law, after all. But why was the house empty? And what happened to Kylie? Ava acted as if nothing had happened, but her mother could see something was wrong. She asked Ava about it, but Ava didn't budge. "Are you sad about Kylie moving to another state?" Ava looked at her mom like she had seen a ghost after hearing those words. When Ava and her mother got home, she ran straight to her room and locked the door behind her. The girl had to be alone for a while, as she couldn't believe that Kylie had moved away without saying a word to her. Ava tucked her head into a pillow. How could she do this to her? Her mother came to her room and told Ava that she could always call her friend. She had gotten Kylie's mother's phone number to stay in contact, but it wasn't easy. Kylie couldn't understand why no one told her what was actually going on. From that day on, Ava traveled to school alone on the bus. No one sat next to her, not even at lunch. She had been so close to Kylie that she had no other friends. Finally, Ava started lying to her mother to skip school and succeeded. With all this alone time, Ava started investigating Kylie's disappearance. She knew she had moved away, but there had to be something else going on. Why else would she keep it a secret for so long? She started to think about the possibilities and couldn't rule out the possibility that Kylie had moved against her will under pressure from a powerful organization, or something like this. So she decided to spend the following days calling different schools, asking if there was a girl named Kylie attending the school. This did not bring her much further though, other than that Kylie is a more uncommon name than she expected. After having called dozens of schools, she gave up. Then, Ava received a strange letter on her doormat after a month or so. There was no stamp on the envelope, so it had to be delivered by hand. She opened it and stopped reading after a few sentences. She couldn't believe this was happening. Kylie had written a letter to Ava that she had to move away because her father worked for the FBI. She had to go into hiding and didn't know when she would return. But one morning, something happened. Ava was waiting on the bus and saw him coming in the distance. But before the bus even stopped, she saw a familiar face. She fell back onto the driveway in shock. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. As soon as the doors opened, Ava burst into tears. Kylie had returned home and surprised Ava on the bus.